The news begins with updates on the #EndBadGovernance protest. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Mustapha, says those flying the Russian flag in Nigeria have committed a treasonable offense. Speaking after an emergency security meeting with President Bola Tinubu at Hassel Rock, Mustapha vowed that the law would catch up with such people. Protesters in parts of the country were seen marching on the streets, carrying Russian flags and chanting slogans. Meanwhile, the Russian embassy in Nigeria has denied any involvement with the group of protesters. The embassy, in a statement, emphasized that Russia does not interfere in the internal affairs of other countries, including Nigeria, and the protesters' actions do not reflect any official Russian government policy or position.
We're also aware that all of us have seen it, where some foreign flags have been flown within the sovereignty of Nigeria, and that is totally unacceptable. We are warning in clear terms, and the President has also said we should convey this, that we will not accept anybody, any individual flying any foreign flag in Nigeria. That is a treasonable offense, and it will be viewed and treated as such. So nobody should allow himself to be used by any individual. Also, the issue of coups. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is a democratic nation. All security agencies are here to defend democracy and ensure that democracy continues to strive. We will not accept anyone pushing or taking any action, seemingly or for whatever reason, to want to push for any change of government.
And now, security agencies in Nigeria have vowed to protect the sovereignty of the nation following the sighting of Russian flags by protesting youths. Speaking after a meeting of the spokesperson of security, defense and emergency agencies in the country, they say the protests have been hijacked by hoodlums who have used the cover of the protest to unleash mayhem on citizens. Amadine Uyi reports.
It's been a theater of conflicts between protesters and security agencies. While security agencies have been accused of using disproportionate force to disperse peaceful protesters, they maintain that hoodlums under the guise of protests are wreaking havoc on innocent citizens. The Force Public Relations Officer says that security agencies will not allow the protests degenerate into wide-scale destruction witnessed during the NSAS protests, which almost destroyed the country.
Anytime any gathering or assembly becomes riotous, we have the mandate, we have the constitutional backing, we have the legal backing to engage proportionally, professionally, logically, and diplomatically to handle such a situation.
At this briefing of spokespersons of security, defense, and emergency agencies, the Force PRO, while answering questions from journalists, says that the recent trend where youths were seen brandishing Russian flags and calling for a regime change will not be tolerated. He said arrests have already been made and security agencies are getting to the root of the matter.
To carry the flags of a foreign country on our land is a criminal offense. We have them arrested. Just this morning, we have arrested one Ahmed Taylor from Kwana Hudu, a Nasarawa local government area of Kano State, for producing in large quantity Russian flags given to young Nigerians to go and fly. For reasons known to him, we are profiling him. We want to get other sponsors like him. As I speak with you, the same thing is happening in Kaduna. Thus, as we started this briefing, we've been able to arrest 30 of them with same Russian flags.
Other security agencies urge Nigerians to embrace peace and dialogue, saying security agencies in the country will protect their nation's sovereignty.
We are working with all stakeholders to be sure that there is no breakdown of law and order. And specifically, the President has said in his address yesterday that the young people should not let some persons deceive them about their country. We need your support. We need every hands on deck. to have peace in our land.
Us in the armed forces, we are a stability force. And as a testament to this, we are deployed across the country, which is indicative of our commitment to defend our country and to protect our citizens. We will continue to be committed to guarantee the safety of our citizens across the country and will continue to do so.
They urge citizens to embrace peace and dialogue, saying there can be no development without peace. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Meanwhile, the 24-hour curfew imposed on Kaduna and Zaria metropolitan cities by the state government has taken immediate effect. The decision was taken after an emergency security council meeting presided by Governor Obasanjo to review the security situation in the state. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, the reason for the curfew is that the ongoing protest has been hijacked by criminal elements who have resorted to looting shops and destruction of private and public property in the state. The statement warns citizens to remain indoors while security forces continue to work to maintain safety and order. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu is joining us now live from Kaduna to give more updates on this. Good afternoon, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, can you provide an overview of the current situation in Kaduna and in Zaria as well since the imposition of the 24-hour curfew? Can we feel the pulse of the people? Emmanuel, can you hear me? All right, I think we're having a bit of audio issues with Emmanuel, and we're hoping we can get him back shortly. But right now we'll be joined on the news to share...
Accused of using disproportionate force to disperse peaceful protesters, they maintain that hoodlums under the guise of protests are wreaking havoc on innocent citizens. The force public relations officer says that security agencies will not allow the protests degenerate into wide-scale destruction witnessed during the NSAS protests, which almost destroyed the country.
Anytime any gathering or assembly becomes riotous, we have the mandate, we have the constitutional backing, we have the legal backing to engage proportionally, professionally, logically, and diplomatically to handle such a situation.
At this briefing of spokespersons of security, defense, and emergency agencies, the force PRO, while answering questions from journalists, says that the recent trend where youths were seen brandishing Russian flags and calling for a regime change will not be tolerated. He said arrests have already been made and security agencies are getting to the root of the matter.
To carry the flags of a foreign country on our land is a criminal offense. We have them arrested. Just this morning, we have arrested one Ahmed Taylor from Kwana Hudu, a Nasarawa local government area of Kano State, for producing in large quantity Russian flags given to young Nigerians to go and fly. For reasons known to him, we are profiling him. We want to get other sponsors like him. As I speak with you, the same thing is happening in Kaduna. Thus, as we started this briefing, we've been able to arrest 30 of them with same Russian flags.
Other security agencies urge Nigerians to embrace peace and dialogue, saying security agencies in the country will protect their nation's sovereignty.
We are working with all stakeholders to be sure that there is no breakdown of law and order. And specifically, the President has said in his address yesterday that, the young people should not let some persons deceive them about their country. We need your support. We need every hands on deck to have peace in our land.
Us in the armed forces, we are a stability force. And as a testament to this, we are deployed across the country, which is indicative of our commitment to defend our country and to protect our citizens. We will continue to be committed to guarantee the safety of our citizens across the country and will continue to do so.
They urge citizens to embrace peace and dialogue, saying there can be no development without peace. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Meanwhile, the 24-hour curfew imposed on Kaduna and Zaria metropolitan cities by the state government has taken immediate effect. The decision was taken after an emergency security council meeting presided by Governor Obasanjo to review the security situation in the state. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, the reason for the curfew is that the ongoing protest has been hijacked by criminal elements who have resorted to looting shops and destruction of private and public property in the state. The statement warns citizens to remain indoors while security forces continue to work to maintain safety and order. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu is joining us now live from Kaduna to give more updates on this. Good afternoon, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, can you provide an overview of the current situation in Kaduna and in Zaria as well since the imposition of the 24-hour curfew? Can we feel the pulse of the people? Emmanuel, can you hear me? All right, I think we're having a bit of audio issues with Emmanuel, and we're hoping we can get him back shortly. But right now we'll be joined on the news to share his thoughts as well. Ibrahim Yakubu, who is a resident in Kaduna State, a civil servant as well. Ibrahim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you join us as well. Now, Ibrahim, could you tell us more on what we need to know exactly about the incident that led to the 24-hour curfew and how people are taking it? All right, I think we have audio issues with Ibrahim as well. Ibrahim, could you confirm that you can hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you, please. The network is a bit slow.
Did you get my question, or would you like me to repeat myself?
Yes, I did. I got it.
Right, please go ahead.
Sorry, firstly, our thoughts and prayers are with all those who are affected by these protests/riots, those who have lost properties and all. But what started as a peaceful protest was actually hijacked by hoodlums who decided it's their turn to take a share of the national cake, which in all angles is very wrong. So the protest, which initially started as something good, which is at least letting the government know there is hunger and hardship in the town, it led to misplaced priorities where you see people flying Russian flags. I really have no idea what they want the Russian government to do. If you really need a solution to your problem, you should actually ask your government. You ask your government, and then the government has come. The federal government came out with their speech, even though most of those protesters and some of us alike felt they didn't touch the areas in which the people are protesting for. They needed something, a form of a succor to ease the hardship, but they felt that speech didn't actually touch that part. That was what led to people coming out en masse on Monday, which was chaotic. It led to breakdown of law and order, and then the government had to impose a 24-hour curfew. So at this moment, actually, dialogue and reconciliation is the best way forward, because this protest is doing more harm than good, actually. So I will just urge everybody to work together for peace and harmony. let's just give peace a chance, and let's hope the government also will bring out other, dole out other initiatives that is going to ease out the hardships, because the thought of sharing 20 trailers of rice to 36 states is not cutting it. Rice is not the problem of Nigerians, actually. They need reforms. The security agencies also who have also been on ground, they've tried their best to check these protesters, but then we need to actually secure, if this banditry and kidnappings can stop, I think everybody can go to the farm. You won't find people idle who will, it's an idle mind actually. Someone will come and give you a Russian flag and you just go out with it. I don't know how people think, but I think the government needs to actually do better.
All right, thank you so much for that, Kaduna resident Ibrahim Yakubu, who is also a civil servant. We also have Emmanuel Bagudu, our correspondent, News Central's correspondent, currently in Kaduna. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Emmanuel, can you also provide an overview? I mean, we've heard from Ibrahim Yakubu to some extent as to what the curfew is all about. But can you also provide an overview of what the current situation is right now in Kaduna and in Zaria since the imposition of the curfew?
Yes, the curfew has been observed by citizens of Kaduna State and, of course, in Zaria. And, of course, we only see a crop of travelers coming in. Travelers from Kano, Katsina, traveling to the FCT and to other neighboring states. They have to cross in through Kaduna. They are also being subjected to checks by security officials. So the curfew is being observed. Security officials are imposing the curfew, and the citizens are very happy that the curfew has actually brought about, peace in the state. But, of course, it's, however, coming with a lot of loopholes. They're actually saying that they are stopped from going to their farms. They are affected. Their businesses are affected. I'm just behind the central market. Everywhere is shut down. A lot of people are complaining. I have one or two persons here who may want to speak to us about the impact of the curfew on them. Hello, sir.
Good day.
Yeah, so what's your name again?
My name is Abba Musa Raibu.
Okay, so you want to tell us how has this curfew affected you, sir?
This curfew, quite all right. It's unfortunate. We are not happy about the issue that is going on, though the government have to impose the curfew so that we, or those who are protesting, those that have not protested in the right way, or those who are looting, doing other things that are not supposed to be, the curfew have to be imposed. So there are a lot of problems now. People who like to go to the market to buy things for their family and the rest, quite all right, it's unfortunate. We are now pleading to the government to see into the matter and consider.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So it's just about a feeling of mixed feelings there, because it's a farming season actually here in Kaduna State. And Kaduna is known to be a very agricultural state. And of course, it's a peak of the farming season. Very soon they are going for harvesting. And they are saying that it's a very tough time now for you to keep them at the house, at their homes, where they are actually supposed to, go into their farms and get ready for the harvest season. I have another gentleman here that still want to say one or two things. Yeah.
Sunana Haruna Usman. Wannan abu ya dame mu saboda jama'a da suke neman abinci yau da kullum abubuwa sun riga sun tsaya. Saboda haka gwamnati ya kamata ta duba ko ba za ta cika ma mutane alƙawarin da suke bukata ba, to at least a samu koda ɗaya ko biyu. Man fetur ne dai muke takama da shi, ya kamata gwamnati ta duba. In ta rage wannan man fetur din, jama'a za su samu walwala sosai. Saboda haka gwamnati ya kamata ta duba koken mutane, ta dauki masu muhimmanci a ciki, ta sauƙaƙa mutane abin da yake damu su. Yanzu a madauki kaman misali, yanzu da ana sai da lokan masara naira 200 zuwa 350, yanzu lokan masara ta kai naira 1400 ko da 500. Ya kama yawa an kawo illoli na masu neman abinci, kaga yanzu ga sunan kasuwa duk an rufe. Ya kamata gwamnati ta duba, ta sa ido a kai sosai, ta duba ta dan rage. Kuma su matasa ya kamata su ma suna da nasu matsalolin, ya kamata su duba cewa in za su yi wannan abu ya kamata su je su yi abin da ya kamata ne su yi ba su balle shagunan mutane ko su daki mutane ko su kashe mutane ba.
So the what he just said is just very simple. That coupled with the fact that there is hardship, and then the lockdown is also affecting him as well, and then of course the youths that are actually vandalizing places and looting shops, make the whole situation more complex. So he's calling on the youth to stop looting, and then the government should relax the curfew so that they'll be able to go back to their farms and then go back to their normal businesses. And then of course the government should listen to the demands of the protesters. So that's why he just said summarily in Hausa. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel Bagudu, joining us from Kaduna State. And clearly from your background, we can see that the curfew is being observed. Thank you once again for giving us the update.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're still live with us on News Central now. We go on a short break, and when we come back, more stories. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. You're still live with us on News Central now, and still on the updates on the hashtag End Bad Governance. After days of shutdown due to protests against bad governance and hunger, businesses and offices in Lagos have reopened their doors. The streets are once again bustling with activity, but the echoes of the protests still linger. Now, contrary to what obtained in many other states across the country, the protests in Lagos recorded very minimal violence, and there was no reported case of looting of businesses or destruction of infrastructure, as was recorded during the 2020 EndSARS protest. We spoke with business owners and workers on the streets of Lagos at the close of business to gauge their sentiments.
The protest was very random, and there was no really time to plan, and with the way the country was and with the way the last protest happened, I was very scared that something bad was going to happen. So obviously my boss, because of the previous toll gates protest, he was like, you should not bother to come to work within those periods. So yeah, it was a very weird period for me.
Yeah. Since everywhere was okay, Thursday was okay, Friday was okay, so just Saturday was okay too, and then Sunday too was okay, so just assume that Monday would come back.
Initially they didn't tell us that we'll be closing for a few days, but when I got home on Wednesday, I think, so they sent us a message that we will not be coming to the office till further notice. Yeah, so for me, it was really interesting.
And now we have News Central's Bernard Akede on standby to give us updates on the situation of things at Ojota in Lagos State. Hello, Bernard. Good afternoon. Can you tell us what's new around Ojota and, generally in Lagos regarding the protest?
Good afternoon. Well, there's been an interesting turn of events in the past few minutes, or would I say, the past few minutes as a matter of fact. But I'll start from what happened this morning. Upon arriving Ojota this morning, unlike what we've been noticing in the past 5 days, where we get here and then we see security operatives on one side and we see the protesters on the other side chanting songs of solidarity. Upon arrival today, there were no protesters here, just security operatives. And not just security operatives, but in heightened numbers. So it was like they came out with reinforcement, basically. Vehicles upon vehicles of police officers, trucks of police officers, all armed in their complete riot regalia, all behind. However, what happened was, rather than allowing us shoot from in front of the actual center of where the protest was going on, the police officers moved us away from that area, and we had to record from several kilometers away from that particular area. So, the police had to explain to us after we questioned them. They spoke to us after we explained to them that we should not be there. All right, at the moment, do roll on now. I went out. All right, so we're being harassed now. We have to go into the vehicle.
All right, Bernard, just take it easy.
So, obviously, we're being attacked by thugs, and we have to go in. Yeah.
That's fine. You can just get settled in. Bernard, please stay safe, get settled in, and we can come back to you for updates. Well, that's News Central's correspondent, and the team at Ojota being harassed by the people there. Obviously, they're being stopped from giving us the update, but we're going to go back to them to find out what the situation is, and we hope that they're staying safe. But still in a chat with News Central's Marshall Anthony Onoye, an upcoming music artist. Now, he simply identifies as Mobis, and he has adopted music as a means to communicate with his pleas to the Nigerian leaders as he seeks the implementation of free education for all. Now, while another protester lent her voice to the call for an increase in the salaries of policemen. And now to more stories. Residents of Abuja State have appealed to the state government to do all it can to end the several sit-at-home, especially on Mondays in the state. They complain that the situation has made every Monday in the entire southeast state weak and nearly unproductive. News Central's Chinwe Ugele reports.
Hunger is all over. We sitting at home has never solved any issue, and it has never added as positively to it. So let them just try and help out so that we will still have our movement free.
Despite calls by citizens for the enforcement of sit-at-home to end in the southeast region, the anomaly has persisted.
If Nnamdi Kanu is released today, we are free, and everything will return to normal.
This has stalled commercial activities in the zone, with the two notable commercial towns of Onitsha and Aba brought to their knees. A city like Umuahia, though not so given to the order, is also affected by the situation. The people who rely on Aba or Onitsha for their raw materials or goods to be purchased on Monday in order to serve their customers are compelled to wait until Tuesday or any other day not declared sit-at-home.
My life is very, very important. I can't travel on a Monday because already, if I call my customers, they say they are not coming. So once they need me traveling, even the drivers that used to take us there, they won't go. Onitsha won't come out. Aba won't come out. So there's no point going on Monday.
Mondays used to be our major buying of materials day. I get it. It's our major day for buying of materials. We used to work. But recently, because of the sit-at-home, we no longer get materials on Monday. It's very difficult for us.
The transporters are not left out in the complaint wagon as they count their losses every Monday.
Like we normally load more than 10 or 20 buses can go work in a day. But this time around, it's not like that. If you look at around here now, where you are now, you see that nobody is coming in, nobody is going out.
Although the drivers say the roads are clear and less busy on Mondays, they say they still have fewer passengers to take.
If there are no commercial activities going on and offices are closed in Aba, then the movement of people from here to Aba is minimal.
It is even more frustrating when the governments do not seem to care about the unfortunate situation in the zone by either intentionally or inadvertently not fixing programs on Mondays.
If there's a program, things you are doing, I think Monday will be the best time for people so that they will be coming out.
Even those who are brave enough to open their business still fear for possible attacks by enforcers of sit-at-home order.
For instance, now we are moving because of when you go and come back, another driver will ask you, how was the road? You explain to him.
Until the government and the stakeholders from the zone sit down to fashion out a way out of this quagmire, the situation may still persist. In Umuahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
All right, we have reports reaching us that our correspondent is settled now at Ojota, Bernard Akede. Bernard, if you can hear me, can you give us an update? Who were those people who tried to harass you, and what's the situation now?
Well, we no longer are at Ojota. We've moved away from Ojota. We're now around, well, I think for safety reasons, I wouldn't see where we are, as a matter of fact, because we're live at the moment. But we're still in the Niger axis. We're heading back to the office. Ojota.
All right. I think we're also having audio issues, but thankfully the reporter and the team are safe and they're making their way back to the office now, and definitely we'll give you updates on what's going on around Ojota axis much later once the place is settled. You're still live with us on the news. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, more stories. Stay with us. All right, many thanks for staying with us. You're still live with us on News Central now. And shortly before we went on the break, we joined our correspondent in Ojota Axis, Bernard Akede, who gave us an update. Now we'll be joining Joshua Imarayi, who is in Abuja, to give us an update on what the protest is like in Abuja. Good afternoon, Joshua.
Good afternoon. A cold afternoon from Abuja lessons.
All right, can you give us an update on what's going on?
Well, this is the National Stadium, the traditional convergence area as designated by the federal government and authorities. Currently, we are seeing a decrease in number, particularly of the youthful demographic of cities in the country. Particularly, the protest here has seen a halt, but rather the protest is taking a different posture, because now what we are seeing here is not young people anymore. We are seeing elders. They are here, particularly 3 elders who are here, and they are protesting in an unlikely manner, unusual manner rather. And I would like to get their thought on what they think about the entire thing and their reactions to President Tinubu's earlier speech. So, particularly here is economist Hawa Mustapha. She's a renowned public commentator and an economist here, and she has some opinions on and some views on the protest so far, and particularly President Tinubu's earlier speech during the week. So what do you make of the speech of the president earlier in the week, and what are your thoughts so far on the entire protest?
Thank you very much. Let me talk about the speech. A speech that was meant to give hope, a speech that was meant to calm the nerves of the youth and the entire nation, a speech that was supposed to give impact, give meaning, help us to understand and to see the government from the prison that we probably were not seeing the government. What did that speech do? I think the speech was simply left as a speech. The president said so much with very little impact, because the president's speech did not address the core of the issues. Don't forget, the theme of this protest is end bad governance.
Okay, well, this is the seize of the protest.
Yes.
Are we seeing an unusual manner of you protesting? Is this another form of protest?
Yes, there are different forms of protest. Since the peaceful movement of the youth on the streets has attracted an unleashing of violence by the state apparatus, by the state controlled security over its own citizens. Since they have decided to move the youth, in fact, some of us were also part of that protest starting from day one. Since the state has decided not to allow us to express our fundamental rights as enshrined in the Constitution, peaceful protest, since they have been moving us around like goats, unfortunately, even the stadium that they decided that we should even stay and protest, the first day and second day we tried to stand outside the stadium. They have forced us inside. You can see the kind of, the vehicles, the mobilization of security around here, as if though it's a war. This is not a war zone. And when you restrain us or you push us into the stadium, the question is, we are not here to play football, nor are we here to watch football. That is what the stadium is meant for. But then, as law-abiding citizens, we have also decided to follow what they want us to do. This place feels like a kind of prison. But the question is, have we not always been in prison in Nigeria, when your movement is restricted, when your freedom is restricted? So we have a space here. This is a continuation of protest. The most important thing is that we are expressing our grievances against bad governance. We are also continuing it in this way as women, as mothers, who feel the pains of the youth, because they are our children, because we knew what life was even at the time that we were at their age. We knew what it was to go to school. We knew how it was to live a better life in Nigeria. Today, it's unfortunate that we have our children, some of them are graduates, they're sitting back at home for years after years, except you can pay money, 2, 3, 4, 5 million naira, depending on which agency of government, to fix your child, get your child a job. or you know somebody who is who, you cannot, your children are suffering. So we have decided to support the grievances, because look, end bad governance is not about end bad government. And it's so unfortunate that the government is not even getting the message. The government and the ruling party is personalizing the grievance. It's a systemic change that we are asking for. End bad governance is end the system that allows for corruption. End a system that allows for less than 5% of the population of this country to be in control of more than 85% of our commonwealth. End bad governance simply means that we are tired of a situation where increasingly every year, through bad policies, through insensitive policies, through the refusal to communicate with the people and listen to the people and be part of the people, we continue to see policies that in more, that increases the population of those in poverty. As at 2019-2020, the statistics has it that about 135 million Nigerians are living in multidimensional poverty. I think between 2019 and the recent, NBS statistics. As at now, between 2022 and now, we have an average of 20 million Nigerians added to that figure. This is from the statistics. This is from official statistical
Joshua,
data.
If you can hear
and what are we talking about?
Joshua, I'd like to ask you a question before we.
Okay. So basically, it is day 6 of the protest, and this is another form of protest. And according to what she says, that this won't stop until the protest ends. This is Abuja, and this is National Stadium.
All right, thank you so much, Joshua, for that update, and thanks to the kind lady who spoke to us as well. All right, moving on to more stories now. Still in Nigeria, the country's former President Olusegun Obasanjo has voiced worries that anyone making money from Nigeria's lucrative gasoline import industry would try to weaken the Dangote petroleum refinery. Now, this statement follows allegations by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the president of the Dangote Group, who has accused certain mafias of attempting to sabotage his $20 billion refinery project. In an interview, Obasanjo suggested that if the refinery succeeds, it could boost investment from both Nigerians and foreigners. He also adds that Aliko's investment in a refinery, if it goes well, should encourage both Nigerians and non-Nigerians to invest in the country. The Nigerian Communications Commission has directed telecommunications operators to simplify their tariff plans, bundles, and promotional activities. Now, this is coming after Nigerians expressed dissatisfaction about how their airtime and data plans, which lasted longer before now, evaporate in days amid agitation by telcos seeking NCC's approval to hike tariff plans. Now, NCC spokesman Ruben Moka, in a statement, said the regulator has mandated all telcos to release clear, easy-to-understand and accurate information about the cost of voice, short messaging service, SMS, and data services to all subscribers. Now, Moka said the regulator communicated the directive to telcos like MTN, Airtel, and others on the 29th of July 2024. It mandated mobile network operators to publish a comprehensive table showing the features of their tariff plans and bundle offers. And now to election matters. The forthcoming local government elections in Ogun State have been fixed for Saturday, the 16th of November 2024. The chairman of Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, Babatunde Osibodu, disclosed this in a statement signed by him and made available to journalists in Abeokuta on Tuesday. Osibodu said on Thursday, the 8th of August 2024, is scheduled for the release of guidelines for the conduct of the elections and stakeholders meeting, while campaigns by the political parties begin on Friday, August 9. The elected local government officials completed their tenure about a week ago. Thanks for staying with us. The news continues in West Africa, where the U.S. military has withdrawn from a final base in terrorist-hit Niger, more than a year after coup leaders in the African country demanded its troops leave. Now, after nearly 800 soldiers pulled out of a base in the capital Niamey in early July, around 200 had remained at the large Agadez base in northern Niger. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Sine told reporters that less than 24 folks were still on the ground in Niger. The remaining personnel are at the U.S. Embassy and are performing administrative work in preparing for the completion of their withdrawal.
Commencé le 19 mai 2024 par la signature d'un accord, ce retrait s'est achevé aujourd'hui par une cérémonie de transfert des installations en présence d'officiels des deux pays, marquée par le départ du dernier C-17 Globemaster 3 de l'armée de l'air des États-Unis d'Amérique. Grâce à une coordination et une communication exemplaire entre les forces armées nigériennes et américaines, cette opération s'est terminée conformément aux accords signés et en toute sécurité. Le ministère de la Défense nationale de la République du Niger et le département de la Défense des États-Unis d'Amérique expriment leur reconnaissance pour les sacrifices.
Over weeks now, a South African beauty pageant contestant with a Nigerian father, Chidinma Adesina, has been reportedly subjected to relentless online abuse and interrogations of her right to compete for the Miss South Africa title. Now, recently, politicians have waded into the debate. Media figures have come to her defense, and TV news and talk radio shows have discussed her nationality. The pageant organizers said Adesina, a law student, is a South African citizen holding both a South African ID and passport, and thus meets all the contestant eligibility criteria. South Africa grants citizenship by birth to anyone born in the country after 1995. Adesina has reached top 9 and is due to compete in the Miss South Africa finals on the 10th of August 2024. News Central's Bongani Siziba has been tracking the story and now files this report.
Hello, South Africa. My name is Chidinma Vanessa Onwe.
Meet 23-year-old Chidinma Adesina Vanessa, who in recent weeks has been at the center of news headlines surrounding name that has become emblematic of a larger conversation about identity, citizenship, and belonging. Chidinma, a contestant in the Miss South African pageant, has found herself at the center of a cultural storm. Chidinma, who has Nigerian roots through her father and South African Mozambican heritage through her mother, represent a rich tapestry of cultures. Yet this diversity has sparked a conflict among the people she seeks to represent.
Citizenship is determined by where you were born. So if she was born here, she's South African. It doesn't matter who they are. She's not her parents. She's herself. So why do you want to say she's from Nigeria or she's from Mozambique? She was born here.
As Chidinma prepares for a prestigious title, voices on social media express both support and opposition. Some argue she should not contest, claiming that her Nigerian roots disqualifies her from representing South Africa. Comments fly in from all corners of internet, igniting a debate that taps into the heart of what it means to be a South African.
Since she's a South African citizen, I think they must allow her to join the Miss South Africa because she's born South Africa. She has a legal document. I think they must just allow her.
Never mind that the parents are from Nigeria or wherever, but as long as she's got a citizen of here, I think they should just allow her.
Locally and globally, the conversation has gained momentum, captivating advocates and critics alike.
Every citizen, everybody has right to pursue their career, their dreams. And she has focused on this on her own and has passed through the preliminary checks and criteria of the organization that is holding this contest. And has been endorsed to pursue her dream on that. So there is no ground that I see for people to be protesting and bombarding her on the social media with critics. Yes, I know that there are certain areas of life you cannot afford criticism. People who hate you, people may not like you, but not like the way it's going currently against her.
Politicians and celebrities have entered the fray. Some have rallied behind Chidinma, praising a celebration of diversity and her right to embrace her identity in a country that has been her home. Yet voices of dissent remain strong. How can she represent us? They ask. What defines South African identity? The rhetoric continues to polarize citizens and followers worldwide, forcing the world to confront a difficult question: at what point does one truly belong?
And there's one thing we need to know. Migration started way before social media, way before people on the internet. So you can't tell me that this talented girl, her father or her mother migrated, so she can't get the opportunity to fulfill her profession. You understand me? So what I'm asking for the bigger heads, please, if you can tell us the date and time when migration started, I think you got the answer, please.
But what does the Miss South Africa pageant say about who is eligible to contest? Amidst the national discourse, the question looms larger than the individual contestant. What does the law say? What does it take to be recognized as a citizen? Is it bloodline or belief, geography or growth? For Chidinma, a 23-year-old who has called South Africa home her entire life, these questions weighs in. While navigating this complex landscape, she remains focused on her goal of representing the country she loves. It's a journey marked by passion and pursuit of her dreams, but now it is overshadowed by public scrutiny. In an increasingly globalized world, this saga has opened essential dialogue about identity that transcends borders. As Chidinma continues her journey, one can only hope that she finds both the support and space she needs to shine. Ultimately, the crisis reveals a deeper truth: what it means to belong. The question now is, as people, do we choose to unite in diversity or continue to divide ourselves by boundaries? The choice rests not only on Chidinma, but on all of us. This is a conversation worthy having. In Johannesburg, for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
All right, thanks to Bongani Siziba for that report. And of course, best of luck to Chidinma Additional. That's all we can take at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. Now, we told you that Nigeria's defense chief has accused protesters flying Russian flag of committing treason. We also did mention that former President Obasanjo said cabals in Nigeria oil sector are frustrating the success of Dangote refinery. And finally, we mentioned that U.S. military has completed withdrawal from its final base in Niger. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, StarTimes channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks. I'm Blessings Mosugu.